Hello YouTube, Mike at Carbonite Lab back again with another vlog. My last one I was cut off. I apologize about that. I didn't really look at it before I posted it, and that's my mistake. But I just basically go on to finish the video with the other species that are there. Again, when you're going through the species, if you don't see something that you want to play, you talk to your GM about it, get it in the game. So this section, we're going to try and go briefly over the different classes that are available to you. So again, this is not the only book out there. New editions will have other stuff in it, but it's basically the idea of the basic core classes. So we're going to start off, we'll open the page up to the classes area. Let's get right into it. Now, so we'll leave it right here. But some of the things that are important about the class, and this is the reason why we're going to break it up, is because you have a regular class, force using class. But the classes that you choose determine the amount of vitality points that you receive every level, like hit points. They determine the particular skill set this character is designed for and their particular role in the group. It also determines your starting credits, which is kind of cool. Everybody's got to start with some money. And then your skill points, because your skill points are going to be a certain number given for that class. We'll use, just 5. But you also add your intelligence modifier to it every level. And at at the very first level, you times that by 4. Start with a bunch of skill points. Every level you'll get that number assigned to that class plus your intelligence modifier. There are some classes in here that are my favorites. I'll point them out, but I'll try and keep this brief. So, with that being said, the class is also equally important as is picking the species, because if you get the right combination, you can unlock some pretty cool characters. So let's get right into it. We got the Fringer out here in front. I like they chose a Rhodian for the Fringer. But a Fringer essentially is somebody who's used to dealing with hardly any resources, finding a way to make things work. He's usually from the outskirts of the universe, living on just bare essentials, barely getting by, using his wits and his skills to kind of get him through each situation. He's kind of the Swiss Army knife of characters, if you will. So some of the cool things about the class feature itself, you get 1d8 vitality points every time you level, which is pretty good. The average is 6. The abilities that the Fringer uses mostly, they're going to be dexterity, wisdom, and strength. So it relies on those 3 to be the class that it is. Of course, you can use all the other ones, but those are the most important ones. Because various class skills that you can use for this class, climb and jump and repair and ride, spot, pilot, things like this that are kind of like the jack of all trades. Skill points, the Fringer gets 6 plus the initiative modifier. So every level, you're going to get 6 plus your intelligence modifier for your amount of skill points that you can spend on his skills. He gets special feats along the way as you're building him up through the levels. He gets barter, which gives him a competency bonus when he's trying to barter for an item. He also gets jerry rig +2, and every couple levels it goes up to +4, +6, and so on and so forth. The Fringer is really good at making quick jerry rig, like MacGyver style repairs on things and just getting them through the situation. They're not meant for long lasting repair, so they're quick at little things like that. They also get a survival bonus every couple of levels, gives them again another competency bonus +2 to surviving in outdoor elements and things like that, because they're used to dealing with nothing. Kind of like I said, MacGyver and Bear Grylls rolled into one. So there's the Fringer. Here we have the Noble. I like how they dress the Noble up in this woman with her chin raised up, like she's all stuck up. She's a different class than I am, looking down upon me. Screw that woman. So the Noble is going to be the character that you want in the group that's going to be doing all the negotiations. Eventually, at some point in your career as your campaign or your character, you're going to encounter somebody who's trying to sell you something, or there's going to be somebody that you need to approach to try and get you to buy something, or try and get you to do something that you need them to do. He's the negotiator of the group. The Noble believes in trying to talk his way through a situation, using his skill of oration and exuding all of his charisma. He's a salesman is what he is, or a politician almost. he resorts to using violence as a very last option. So the noble, the abilities that the noble is going to rely on, number one, most important for this class is going to be charisma. That's got to be your highest ability score. After that, it's going to be wisdom and intelligence because of all the sense motive and diplomacy checks that this character is going to have. Vitality is 1d6, that's the average per level, so it's in line with everything else. The class skills that the noble is going to have are going to be a lot more geared towards talking and speaking and more of like a book study type background. So diplomacy, you're going to have sense motive, but you're also going to have the ability to read and write different languages, have different knowledges, professions on things, all based on like a higher class skill, more refined, more civilized. At certain different levels over here, when you're building a character, you get the special abilities that are for this class. You get favor, so it allows you to call in a favor at some point in the game. You get a +1 roll on your bonus. You also get inspire confidence, so you can actually rally the troops together with some quick little pep talk speech, and then everyone in the group gets a buff of like a +2 competency bonus on certain rolls. Resource access. Again, you have the ability to try and reach out and gain access to things that you typically couldn't get otherwise, like special equipment. You need just a quick lift off a planet, so you can use that. Also, you coordinate and inspire greatness. And again, coordinate is going to be something that's going to allow you to get people that wouldn't normally work together to get something done. You get pluses to your rolls on making that happen. And inspire greatness, which is a cool one because it's like the really, really intense pep talk for the team, and everybody gets bonuses to their attack rolls too. So, pretty cool class, good to have in the group. It takes a special person to be able to play this character, somebody who has the ability to put themselves in a very, almost like a theatrical mindset. It really helps with this character. I have a friend of mine, P-Trap. This dude plays a noble like nobody's business. He's very intelligent, he speaks very well, and he rocks this class. So it takes a special person to be able to fill the shoes of noble, but definitely valuable in the group. Also worth noting, the noble starts off with 1d4 times 1,000 credits when you first start the character. I forgot to mention the Fringer is 1d4 times 1,000 as well. Here we have my most favorite of the classes when it comes to this role-playing game, the Scoundrel. I will almost always choose the Scoundrel when I pick a class because they have so many great benefits that really work for me. The Scoundrel is the one who is, the most notable one is Han Solo, but the Scoundrel is, going to basically use his wits and his ability to be cunning and sly to get through things. He could be somebody that was wronged by the Empire, or somebody who's just born in a way of criminal activity. But the Scoundrel's going to be looking out for himself, number one, at almost all times, and trying to find some way to benefit from it. But they can be good as well. So the abilities that a Scoundrel relies on heavily are going to be dexterity and intelligence. Those are the two most important ones. After that, it's going to be charisma and wisdom. Because, if you remember, Han Solo was actually pretty smooth when he was a talker. He'd get himself going and he was believable. And that's because you're going to need to be able to talk your way in and out of situations. So you're kind of like the streetwise salesman in a way. But you're able to get things done. Vitality is 1d6, so that's the average. Class skills, this character is going to have a lot of skills from every character or every class set. Some of my favorites, though, about the Scoundrel is that he has the ability to hide, move silently, has sleight of hand. You can make him a character that is just easily going to be able to slip into the shadows and stay out of combat if need to, but get in and get things done. Very much like the rogue in D&D, which I typically always play as well. Scoundrels can turn into great thieves, by the way. They can also be pretty good bounty hunters, too. Once you get them higher up, 10th level, you can turn them over, make them a bounty hunter, whatever. So, as far as the special abilities that a Scoundrel gets, the Scoundrel is going to start off with Illicit and Barter, which gives him a +5 competency bonus to buy or sell illegal goods. So, as a Scoundrel, right away, if you're a Tatooine, you're trying to make a deal for some unauthorized weaponry, a case of guns, he's going to have actually a better chance of making the deal go down. He gets lucky as his levels progress as well. So once per day when you first start off, you can re-roll any D20 roll that you have to make, whether it's for attack or skill or something along those lines. You can re-roll it once per day. You get precise attack. So next couple levels up, you get a +1 on your attack bonus, and then along the way you just build him up with a bunch of skill points and just have fun with this guy. He starts off with 1d6 times 500 credits. So it's a little different, but a Scoundrel is going to be somebody that's able to make a little bit of money. So let's get on to the next one here. Again, I gotta say before I turn the page, my favorite class. We're going to get into the Scout. The picture is on the other page, which is really weird, but the picture right here is cool with the scene where they get caught up in the net on the moon of Endor. So the Scout, his background is he was somebody who has been an outdoors guy. Where a Fringer has been on the outskirts and would most likely kind of want to move into more civilized stuff, the Scout is going to be the opposite. He's comfortable outdoors, he's comfortable in uncomfortable settings. He believes in his innate abilities and his wits, his intelligence to get him through situations. He's the guy that you want to have tracking people. Scout is the one that you want to have on a lookout. Scout is also the guy that you want to have if you don't have a soldier in the group. A Scout makes a good stand-in because they can do some things a soldier can and a little bit more. So the abilities that the Scout relies on heavily are going to be dexterity, intelligence, and wisdom. It's going to need to be quick, quiet, hide well, be able to talk his way through a situation if he has to, but more importantly, be able to hear and spot and again, be the lookout. So those are important things for him. His class skills are going to rely heavily on things like that. Spot, listen, ride. He'll have the ability to be quiet, so he'll have move silently as well. So he's going to be that kind of character. He can also be built up to be a bit of a soldier as well. So it is a nice class that gives you some latitude on what you want to do with the character, make him more well-rounded. His special feats he gets like trailblazing, which is pretty cool. Allows him to find a route in uneven terrain, things like that, especially out in the open. Heart, which allows him to really dig down deep and believe in his ability to get him through a situation, and he gets a +2 competency bonus on his roll. So it's actually a pretty cool thing to have. Uncanny dodge, he becomes able to use his defense a little bit easier and get harder to hit. He'll start off with 1d6 times 500 credits. And there's our Scout. The Soldier, one of my favorite classes. I never really played a soldier myself on any longevity, but I gotta tell you, it's good to have one in the group. The Soldier's the guy that's going to be delivering the heavy firepower, taking a lot of the hits. He's the guy that is obviously going to be the fighter in the group. He's the one that is really a good character to play if you're a bit of a hothead, because it makes for a fun soldier. His abilities are dexterity is got to be #1. His constitution and strength are the next ones you would choose. They got to be the highest ones, but dexterity's got to be high. He's got to be hard to hit, and he's got to be good with a gun. Those two things alone help him. Vitality, he is 1d10, so he's up there. He gets 10 plus points, so he's going to be an awesome guy to have out in front taking shots. Most of his skills are going to be set up around combat and what a soldier would do. His skill points are 4+ intelligence modifier every round, so not a lot of skill points he's getting, but whatever he does get, he's going to focus him in on like certain things, whether it's the ability to use that heavy machine gun, or have super awesome armor, or something that's combat related. His special feats or things that he gets on his chart here is just bonus feat, bonus feat, bonus feat. So he gets to choose anything from this section here, which is like improved shot, 2-weapon fighting, fast shot, expertise, weapon proficiencies. It's all based towards combat. His credits are 1d6 times 500. So not a rich guy, but he's got some money to get the job done. So we're going to stop right there because we're going to make a second one on a section about force using classes. It is a little different. We're going to take a little time just to go over it, but these are some of the basic core classes available to you in the game. Choose wisely.